My damn name.
First world problem.
I know, right? When you forget to change your name on the Zoom link. But there's a meme going around of the girl that had like a meeting, but her Zoom name was inappropriate from her party, but she went into it with the meeting. I thought that was pretty funny. I like that one.
We're up in live. We're up in live on YouTube. So
streaming on the
Pip, let's do this, right? So if anybody watches from afar or whatever, I mean, we got a bunch of different people in here from all walks of life, all over the country, different groups, different organizations. We're gonna have more people popping in. Alex Hilliard's popping in right now. He's that guy's like famous. I don't know if you know him, but we'll get to know Alex in a little bit. Bobby Eckert's hopping in right now, so on. So this is gonna be pretty good, but we're gonna roll into this. So Alex, Bobby, we are live.
Is this like a shooting
Tell everybody as we go.
What?
Alex, where are you? Out in Hollywood right now? You shooting a movie or something? What are you doing?
Oh God, is this muted? Can you hear me? I'm home. Hi, Nick.
I thought all you do is work.
Right. Well, I try to, but I'm home. Back
up,
on
Bob?
Sunday.
Alex, you should work Monday.
Brother, I am working Monday. Thank you. I appreciate your jokes. I worked today as well. Life is good. This is insane. I should have my iPad.
Pip, what are we doing?
It's easy to kill them.
I don't know. We're talking, man, right? What are we talking about?
So let's do it.
So look, there's a great concept, right? Wait, I got a concept. You want to let me talk first, or are you going to?
Yeah,
talk
go ahead.
first? Who's talking first? And also,
No, I
are
talk
you
a lot,
monitoring?
yeah.
I know. Am I monitoring the chat? I guess I'm
Guys, you
monitoring the
said it
chat.
would be
Yeah.
harder. I didn't know.
I can monitor the chat and go back and forth too. So big thing this week, at least in like the 555 fitness world.
You guys got to mute out. If you're not talking, mute out because we're picking up everything here. If you're not talking, you got to mute.
You probably have the whole control too to mute everybody there, Oz. But I think my kid's second grade teacher uses Zoom because she can mute all the kids. So it's kind of scary to think that we've given you that power right now, right? But anyway, there's this concept going around this week, at least when I think of the fitness world, because that's where I come from, guys. And there is a young man, 21 years old, down in Florida with Down syndrome, who last week, I guess last Saturday or Sunday, he completed an Ironman triathlon. And Chris's whole process and whole way he got to this was by using the concept of being 1% better every day. And he looked at that and said, can I be 1% better every day? He set some goals, thought they were pretty cool. Buy a house, marry a hot blonde, and become an Ironman triathlete. So he's got the Ironman triathlete one down. He's working on the other two, I guess, but it's all by being 1% better. So when we think about the fire service, can we make the fire service a better place if we all are just doing it 1% better at a time? What do you think, Jeremy?
1% better is better than nothing, but I think I had a great conversation earlier today about mediocrity and what's going around and what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and how we're accepting mediocrity. I think what's lacking is the personal drive of bettering yourself, which betters the organization. I think that, in our world, we talk a lot with senior guys and guys that are totally into the job firematically. And, and then, it's an interesting time period in the job today where it seems that we're accepting mediocrity more than ever. I think in a job where we work hard, the only way to make the greater good better is to work on yourself first. In the world of you guys with 555, it's fitness, and you guys push yourself to be in top peak performance, which allows you, not inhibits, but it allows you to do better at your job. You got guys like Alex Hilliard and Bobby Eckert in here, and Nick Papa and Rob, and guys that are totally into the training aspect and pushing themselves to be better on the training side. Everybody's got their angle, but what the one connection is, I think, for each individual is the fact that they're willing to push themselves a little bit further every day, right? When you sit there and you become complacent and you sit there and you allow yourself to be the status quo, you don't bring anything to yourself, you don't bring anything to the game. And when you stop bringing something to the game, we're all going to lose, right? So that's my 2 cents. I mean, I don't know, guys. Somebody unmute and hop in. I mean, I'd love to hear
somebody
takes on
jump
this.
in on the concept of, how far do we push it? Is 1% better each day going to make it better overall? Or do we have to jump to both feet all in? You need to be 100% better than you were yesterday. Somebody jump in with this.
Well, first, I feel like I wore the right shirt. I got my complacency kills shirt on. So that was fitting.
Jeremy's your fan right now.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say I had a conversation with some guys about the NFPA stuff and the life safety stuff and the initiatives that have been pushed through with the IFC and the IFF. And one of them made the comment that they said that they're going to reduce the number of cardiac arrests that happen each year and the number of firefighters that die. And my comment to them was they can push out all they want and say, hey, we're going to lower these numbers, but unless we take it on individually, then it's not going to ever change. Like, it takes change on each individual's part in order to lower those numbers.
I mean, I think, as an individual, doing 1% better every day is a good way to look at things, but also that 1% every day is, are you taking ownership of your actions? I could easily go, I want to do 1% better every day, but come up with an excuse of why I don't want to work out today, or why I don't want to train, why I don't want to do this or do that. And really taking ownership of making that 1% better every day of, yesterday I did 3 miles on the treadmill. Today I'm going to do 4 miles. Every little step counts towards that, but we have to take ownership of ourselves first to get that 1% better. And as people see us as individuals get better and better, it's going to potentially drive them to want to be better themselves.
Yeah, and and to get out of the fitness world a little bit too, like, and to talk to Nick and Rob and Bobby, like when you guys are out training, because this year is obviously a bit different, but when you've been out there and you're meeting these folks from around the country, what do you think about this? Obviously you want them to leave your class and be way better than when they walked in the door, but if they can take that one thing away, is that just as important as taking everything away that you just put out there?
You got a good Pip. First off, dude, mustaches. I don't even know what to say, but
you're my.
I mean,
favorite.
are we
You're
like 10 minutes?
Right now.
Are we 10 minutes into November and you're already? I'm 11 days in November. Check me out, man. No, it's a good point, but I think the biggest thing when I leave any type of training that I'm involved in is that I left the mark on the firefighters' confidence, because I think if you're trying to build yourself up 1%. There's so much with, especially with the interwebs and social media, there's so much that you can learn and do and see and be confused by, and, 26 ways to skin a cat. But if you really work on a firefighter's confidence every day, if you do something to build your confidence in the firehouse, on the fire ground, and it doesn't have to be every day of your life, 365 days a year, but every day you go to work, every day you go to the firehouse, a drill night, whatever, it's amazing what firefighters can't do with their gloves on, and what can't do when they can't see. And those are our two working things. We always have our gloves on, and our working environment is zero visibility. So if you can maybe start small and build up, how better is your confidence going to be? In turn, then you gain knowledge. In turn, you turn around and be this firefighting force. And it really just starts with, like you said, 1%. Just think of something every day. I look at my bathroom, my downstairs bathroom, where I sit on the porcelain throne, and there's books in there, and there's books in there for a reason. And, I try to sit in there every day, maybe hide from my wife and kids, but
they always wonder why it takes me so long.
Yeah, exactly.
But man,
just try to,
there's no
gain,
hiding in there anymore.
Yeah, just try to gain a better understanding every day is something. And, it doesn't like, personal accountability, but just, finding something new or honing a skill every day. I don't know. That's how I feel. I see Nick pop his hair. He can go next.
No, I really like this mindset in this of this 1%, because it's incremental, and 1% doesn't seem like a lot. So from kind of a psychological standpoint, it's easy for us to get on board with, that 1% improvement or that 1% change, because it's for us to digest. It's not this big daunting goal. Setting this goal of, I want to be able to bench press 300 pounds by the end of the year. It's, if I break it up into the small digestible pieces every day, it doesn't seem like so much of a challenge. It's just, and then it's that whole under promise and over deliver. That way I set out to do that 1%, but if I get the momentum and keep going, well, then I just smashed my goals and it's that much better. And I think that's a really good mindset to take also with training and the way we approach our departments, and how we do this and how we train, because everybody on Houston is clearly into the job, and sometimes you can get frustrated. Not everybody is on the same wavelength as we are. To train every day, they come into work, so it's an approach is huge too, because it also allows you to reach those people a lot more successful, well, because you're just giving it to them in small doses over time. You're going to around, they're not just going to be rating that 1%, and it's just going to snowball from there.
Nick, your sound's hopping in and out, but it was good. I mean, I got the gist of it, and I like it. Incremental change, it's good.
Yeah, and Nick mentioned in there too, and he was kind of popping on out, but that goal setting, where you have a big goal, like this kid Chris's goal was to complete an Ironman, and that is a humongous goal. But you're going to take that one bite at a time. And when we kind of think about the fire service, especially these days when it comes to how we look at things via the internet and social media, everybody wants, everything all at once, but it's going to take that 1% growth over time that's going to make you better. No one's going to be perfect at the things that Bobby said, working in zero visibility the first time they try it. They're going to have to work on that. And we can all work on that for a long time.
I think it's pretty important that you look into, like, I was watching Bert Kreischer's thing on the cabin the other day, and he had Caitlyn Jenner on, and his dad was talking to him about, like, how when he was Bruce Jenner, he got through the decathlon, and it was this whole, like, he didn't look at it as the whole event. He looked at it as one piece and getting through that one piece each time, and how important that was to actually being able to make that record win back in the Olympics and get through it. And I think we have to get people to understand, like you talked about that 1%. I think it's great, because today I got a probie who was getting overwhelmed, and I said, listen, don't think about the whole picture right now. Just think about getting this first task done, and then worry on to your next task, and then your next task after that. Don't look at, oh my God, I've got all this work to do. And it's just, that's a great mindset to get people into.
Yeah, it's making those decisions, right? We don't put the fire out the second we show up somewhere. We go through these steps, one step at a time. And I see, as this has all been going on, so many more people are jumping in, and it's awesome to see.
Pip, hold on, wait. NFPA wants you to put the fire out as soon as you get there. It's called transitional attack. Oh, boom. Had to say, you gave it to me. Freaking cowards. I'm going back to mute.
I lobbed the volleyball up for the spike.
Threw
right?
it right there. Gave it to him.
There was nothing even there, right? But I see everybody jumping in with their kids, and it's just awesome to see that too while we're getting into this. And I know Rob is shaking his head because Rob Reed and I did a podcast for the Size Up last week where we talked about a lot of this, relating it to the show Ted Lasso. That's going to be coming out on Monday, so there's my self plug right there.
Who watches Ted? I'm the only guy that doesn't watch his show. I've never seen it.
A lot of people haven't, because it's on Apple TV. It's just one of those things. I'm
not an Apple guy. I mean,
exactly. It was just like when Cobra Kai was on YouTube. No one watched Cobra Kai. It came.
I'm watching it now, second season.
You're only on the second season, bro. You're slow.
I know. What can I tell you? So listen, did we beat that one or what? Where are we headed, man? Let's talk. I mean, Pip, you're always so like. Go ahead, Robert, you got some, pal? Go ahead.
Yeah, I got one for you.
Do it, man.
It's just going to be that I love playing devil's advocate a little bit. So let's take I can't remember who just said it about their probie being overwhelmed, right? Let's take that probie though that gets that 1% better, and suddenly they think they're 80% better or 100% better. You got to be careful how much they consider 1% what you consider 1%, and making sure, and it got mentioned, making sure that goal is there and they understand that that goal is not going to happen tomorrow and that goal is not going to happen in a week. And they may reach that goal before they finish their career if they're lucky, depending on what it is. You got to be careful with what those goals are and make sure that that 1% doesn't make them get complacent.
I also think too, Robert, which brings up a good point. It's like, what does your culture expect? What is your fire department, your fire company, your individual boss, your individual crew? You know, everybody's got those A companies, and then you got your D companies, right? Like, and everything in between. And it's usually based on the culture, right? And like-minded people find themselves together. So if you have a very strong company, you have an A company, you're going to end up with A people, and you're going to weed out those B, C's, and D's just because of the fact that they're not going to be able to fit in and be there. And that 1% incremental change might not get them to that level. I mean, inherently, we have to be honest with ourselves too, is that not everybody is cut out to be an A fireman, fact, or firefighter, fact. It's inherently, you can train and work hard and you can do all these things to better yourself, but you still may not be an A firefighter. And that's just fact, right? It's like, not everybody could be Michael Jordan. Not everybody could be Pavarotti. Like, it's you know, you can train and practice and do everything you can to better yourself, but inherently you are who you are. And sometimes in the big game, on the big stage, right, you just don't have what you can bring to the table to be that other person or that, you know, leader or top shelf. That's why not everybody can train and not everybody can teach. People think they can teach. How many classes have you taken with people that think they can instruct and teach and they're god awful, but in their own world, they think they're great. And the thing is that they're just not on that next level. They think they're the level and they think they're setting the bar. In fact, they're not, right? So I think it's the culture. Culture has a lot to do with it. I see Nick Esposito in here. I love Nick. I'm wearing a shirt that Nick, showing your colors right now, pal. Ah, nice. I like it. But Nick, I'd love to, you know, I respect your opinion very much. And I'd love to hear your take on this too, just on culture and change and progress of firefighters and so on, man. I'd love to hear from you.
But you know, hey Nick, how's the rescue? I'm sorry. I got it.
Wow.
It's good, man. Thanks, Bobby. I left my cape at your mom's house, though. I'm sorry. You know, I got distracted here. Hey, Alex Hilliard, how are you? You doing the tour of Ragtop?
He's signing autographs later.
Culture and brotherhood. You know, it's so hard, regardless of how big or small your fire department is, to think that your whole department has a culture, right? And a lot of the times the culture is, it starts with you, it starts with your company, it starts with your shift or the folks that you normally go to a fire with. So it's very hard. Like, you know, where I am, we have 4 shifts and, you know, 9 engines on each shift. So there's really 36 engine companies in my fire department, and they're all very different. And some companies are really good on one shift and absolutely terrible on the other. So, you know, I think a lot of it just comes with, you know, starting with that ownership. And if you suck or you don't know that you suck, but at least just try to get better. And every little bit that you can get better is going to make the whole thing work out, you know. And it's, you know, there is no place that has like awesome culture and awesome brotherhood. You might walk in there and think it, but then when you start talking to folks, they'll tell you this guy sucks or that company sucks or whatever. And, you know, it's kind of like that, I guess, right?
I'm with you. I mean,
it's like that. It's just like you just said. It's like that.
So what do we got? Sean Egan hopping in. AJ, I didn't even notice you with a hat on. And you're, what are you working?
Yeah, man. You want to see my beautiful bald?
That's the guy I know. Yeah, that's the guy I know. God,
how come you didn't grow a mustache, dude? Where's your mustache?
How come my what?
Where's your mustache? It's November.
Yeah, no, the divorce papers are too much to fill out.
It's expensive. Very.
Can we talk about this? Can we talk about this for a minute? This stupid ass Movember. I mean, great cause. I get it. 90% of the people that grow these mustaches don't give to the cause or care about the cause, right?
I care about the cause. I just don't give to the cause, but I care.
Right, and then you know, most of the people are growing mustaches that truly. What did I say to you before, Pip? It looks like Beaker from the Muppets with like short curlies on his lip, right? Like, I mean, that's what the majority of, you know, this Movember is. I just don't understand where people think they can grow mustaches and pull it off. They look like idiots.
We talked about this last week a little bit, though.
No.
You know, like, what's the big deal? So for a month, maybe I don't I rarely take myself seriously, but I really don't take myself seriously. My wife yells at me every day. She yells at me every day anyway. So now it's just
Listen, Pip, I think
ridiculous
there's an opportunity here to raise some serious cash next year. I think next year you connect it to the Mohawk. You know what I mean? Like complete the circle.
Some people
I bet a lot of money would pay. A lot of people pay a lot of money to see that happen.
I definitely don't
We'll have to see.
that.
Well, within you could also pay to get it shaved off. We could do like a, we could do a serious charity next year. Let's get through 20, whatever year this is,
Mama
and get
Pip
to the
will
next
pay
year.
that money, whatever it is, I guarantee.
All right. So listen, on a serious note, because I'm looking at who's in this chat room right now, and I'm absolutely loving what I'm seeing, because part of the reason for this today, Pip and I were just talking about different things. We're trying different things. Obviously, as we know, COVID's firing up again. I know more people with COVID now than I did over the last 8 months. I mean, how crazy this thing has just gotten in the last few weeks. This is obviously going to be coming down the pike again with shutdowns and training getting screwed up. Bobby, I know you got events planned, and I hope that, you can pull them off and make everything happen. It's just,
I hope so.
yeah, I really do for you. This has been a tough time. I see Chris Martin's in here. Chris is with Elkhart Brass. I've done a bunch of things with Chris and Jerry from their crew, and they do incredible things, and they go out, and conferences have been suffering this year. But what I love about this group is I invited a lot of people from Instagram, from the Instagram space of the fire service. And there's a lot of great people in here tonight that represent some really great training pages. 555 Fitness, obviously, AJ, and your cooking page. And it's kind of a well-rounded. We got a couple vendors in here. Tucker from First Do, Rob's from Ridgeway Leather, Chris Martin's Elkhart, and Alex Hilliard's a Hollywood All-Star, and Mickey Farrell from Top Floor. Like, it's just good people in here. And so my question is to all of you, and I'd love to hear feedback from a lot of you, is what was the push to get you to do a page? Because I know what goes into doing a social media page and putting out quality content that matters. I hope and like to think that our page is making some type of difference somewhere along the line in the fire service, promoting the good and whatever. But a lot of you put a lot of time in, and Chris and Rob and Tucker on the vendor side too, is you guys value social media and the attention it gets in the fire service. And so my question is what was the inspiration, or what pushed you to see a reason to start a social media page that could have and does have a great influence on the fire service? I'd love to get some feedback on that. Don't all jump at once.
I would say mine first started just because people like to see nice welds. So I started putting that up there, and then it started growing into something more than nice welds. So then it turned into,
man. I've seen it.
My business, and that's where I run. All of my business is essentially run on social media and directing people to my website. I mean, that's really the way it is. I don't do anything else. I don't do anything else outside of that. Everything's Facebook, Instagram, and that's it. And of course, this all-star right here.
Of course. But Tucker, I'll tell you, like, what you're doing, and you're passing on a good word about apparatus manufacturing and upfitting and so on. And so that takes time. I mean, it takes time out of your day. Obviously, you're promoting your business, but you're also taking time out of your day to better, right, the fire service by providing pictures and ideas and thoughts to other people, kind of what we do with our apparatus stations and so on. So that's cool, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's awesome. You're making a difference. Who else, man? One of the training guys, maybe, or somebody want to hop in? I mean, I just know how much time goes into, like Mickey Farrell, man, Top Floor Tactics. Like, that guy spends a week on one post because that's how he is. He's super thorough and puts out a really good product. So
he's an author.
What's that drive? What's that personal drive?
I think he's the next great author.
He really is, man. He really is. He's driving. Where are you?
He's literally driving right now.
Let's not make him crash.
You hear me, Jeremy?
I'm with you, brother. So what's the push with your page, man? I'd love to hear.
Well, I think the thing with Instagram for me was that I can be I could be mysterious. I could hide behind it. I think a lot of us, it was hard to jump into any of this. And for me, social media was an easy outlet where I could put thoughts into words and do that behind an alias type setting. And you know, Jeremy, it was very hard for me to
yeah, I know,
take the next step. And I think it is for a lot of us. And I think with a lot of us, there's a lot of knowledge to be had, a lot to be shared. But the way our job is, the way our culture is, unfortunately, it does not make it easy. It's not easy to love this job. It's kind of a weird thing. And loving it, you have to hide it sometimes to get to the next level. Once you take that step, though, it's almost like, I guess, no looking back in a strange way, as long as you navigate that properly and do the right thing, you know. But that was it for me. I had a lot of notes that I've written over the years, and I wanted to do something with it. And I was never into, I read all the fire engineering and stuff, but I never thought I would be publishing like that, nor did I don't think I ever wanted to. But like I said, it was just an easy way to get some thoughts into words and get it out to the next generation, because that's where it's at. That's where they're getting the information from. That's where they're getting the knowledge from. It's from social media. It's not, unfortunately, from press. And they say press is dead. And I hate to say it, but it is. And this is the next step. And this is where we're all at. That's why we're all here together doing it. We're doing it as a team. Where I feel like the fire engineering days, the Firehouse Magazine days, it was a very select few elite people that were getting published, which thank God they did get published. Thank God those sources were for us to read to get to our level. But now it's a huge network, and it's even better because there's so much stuff. I learn every day. I go in there and I learn something new every day, and I think we all do, and that's what makes it so different and special.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Sean, what about you, brother? Sean, you got, you're a senior man, you're one of the senior guys in your job, and thin red line. I know you do training with Bobby and his crew. What's your push, man? What's your push to get the good word out there? Why?
Yeah, I need to do better with the social media stuff. I talked to Bob about it a lot, and I'm like, oh, I got this great post, and I put it out, then I don't do one for a month. But it's important. There's so many, using my job as an example, we have close to 500 people we hired in 10 years. You talk about losing culture, you talk about losing tradition, you talk about, losing experience. So I follow all you all on social, and the word's out there. I value the contacts I made around the country, around the world, more than I could even explain. And so much of what all you share is what I bring back to share with the guys and gals at work. So it's huge. It's huge to do stuff like this. And that's why, how I feel about what you and Rob and them have going with National Fire Radio. It's an amazing thing you're doing for the fire service. And I brought my friend too, Pip, my mustache, but my wife actually likes it.
Hey now,
this mustache thing, Jeremy, you shaved yours too early. But going back to the start of 555, it's a lot of what these guys are saying, that it was a way to get the information out there. Yeah. And what the original founder Larry did with Facebook was he sort of thought, hey, if this is what all the younger generation is, if this is where they're getting their information from, and we're talking 7 years ago now. When we started the Instagram page, the first 555 Instagram page was my personal page, because there weren't businesses on Instagram at that time and all these things. So to watch it be able to grow and see how it's changed and be a part of it has just been unreal. And like welcoming all these other people. AJ, I'm not really sure. We met really early on in the Instagram days. You know what I mean? He's like one of my first Instagram friends with Fork and Hose, but he can probably speak to it a lot better than I can, and how he grew his business from, or Fork and Hose from what it was to what it is now, right, AJ?
Yeah, honestly, if it wasn't for hashtags, it probably wouldn't have grown as fast, only because I literally searched, firehouse kitchen, firehouse cooking, and then I was able to jump on, so many other pages that were doing, their own personal stuff. I got to hop off real quick, though. I'll be right back.
Have fun.
He's got to do something.
I think you, Bobby, earlier before I jumped on, talked about how his throne at home is his makeshift library. But if you think about the AKA thrones at the firehouse, at least ours, they ain't loaded up with firehouse and engineering anymore. That's right. And when you're on the throne, what are you looking at? You're on Instagram, right? Exactly. Right. So
I'm looking at all you guys.
like
Just
speaking
said
from a manufacturer point of view, social media has offered us a way to show you stuff that you would not normally see in a print ad in a magazine, right? And let alone is anybody still looking at them in the firehouse. Everybody's connecting. Or the other thing, right, is for those of you guys making videos, here's a little nugget. There's all kinds of apps on there. If you're not putting the captions on the bottom of your videos, you're doing it wrong, right?
Yep.
Why? Because we've all sat in meetings. We've all been in the back of the rig. We've all been wherever we can't hear or we don't want to be heard. And we're reading those captions on the bottom. So there's all kinds of great programs out there now. You can upload your video to the to an app, and within like amazing light speed, 15 seconds, you have it back with the captions. So again, how we're connecting, how we're getting our information, it changes, monthly.
And Chris, the way you guys have done it with Brass Tacks, I mean, I think Elkhart's one of the leading manufacturers on the social pages, especially in the fire service, because there's not many people that are understanding the value of what you can bring and how you can get your message across. And kudos to you and Jerry and the team at Elkhart to really explain your brand and be a part of the community. It's one thing to be there to sell and to product showcase, but yourself and Jerry, you guys get in the community. You work, I mean, everybody here knows who you are, and you work with different training groups and organizations and fools organizations. So it's one thing to be on social. It's another thing to be on social and get into the community and be a part of the community. And you guys do that very, very well. So
thank you. I mean, the direct message alone, through Instagram is huge, right? Yep. How many times you have a question or whatever, you don't want to look like an idiot, you don't want to post it, I don't know. But the DM's perfect, man. You'd be surprised how many quote unquote technical questions we answer just in direct message. And if you're not there and you're not relevant, man,
you got a lot
you're missing an opportunity.
DM.
Yeah.
Slide
into my DM.
All right, I'm out of here for a couple minutes. Pip, you got this. I'm out for a few.
You got it. Oh my God, he's going. He must have to get a new beer. So a lot of the things you guys do well there too, and that I think we've all learned over time with social media, is it's got to be short, right? That content that you're putting out has to be quick. And you guys get a lot of great information out there, but you have people like First Do Fab and like Ridgeway that are showing you tricks. I don't want to say they're tricks, but they're showing you how they manufacture these products. And you guys both do a really good job of doing it quick. And Rob, I don't know if you don't want to talk in the backyard there, but
I'll talk, man. I'm good.
You've been crushing it when it comes to like, this is how, I mean, now you're showing pictures of cows left and right and singing songs from Hamilton. But
Rob's got a thing for cows. I don't know. He likes the insides. He likes the outsides. I don't know.
That's right. You know what? My greatest disappointment is the fact that they don't ship the rest of the cow with my orders, which I got one today. So I can still confirm they're still not doing it.
Listen, you're talking to the guy who bought half a cow this year, and it's out in my freezer right now. So I love every minute of those cows.
Well, you know what though? We're gonna go. We'll go into it together next time because I just got a test for you too. I'm looking at the same thing. You're my inspiration for that.
But the stuff that you're putting out there, talk about how you're showing this and what that's doing for your business.
Yeah, I mean, to go back to Jeremy's original question, is you live and die in the fire service and as a business owner with your ability to read the environment and change along with it. So think about 15 years ago, all like say fire departments, businesses, everyone at some point said, oh, well, we really need a website. From the time that the people that were talking about they needed a website, people had websites 15 years prior to them. And they were so far beyond the curve, everyone had already started transitioning over to social media. So, I mean, I think it's important to really, I guess, not only read the room, but see what direction the attention's going. And that's what you need. You need everyone's attention. As a business owner, you're selling something. If you're an instructor, you're trying to get your message out. Not only do you have to try to convey to an older crowd, but you have to reach the younger crowd too. But as far as showing what I do in the shop, I mean, every leather worker that I know, it's an amazing community, just like the majority of the fire service, is that we're willing to befriend each other. We talk a lot behind the scenes. We help each other out. And even now, I already know I got a DM sitting in my box from some guy that was just looking to start out with leather work. And I'm going to answer every question he has because it's not a competition. It's not I'm a firefighter first and foremost. And I have an awesome time with the business that I've created. But at the same time, the people that are asking me these questions are also firefighters. What do we want to do? We want to help each other out. So I think the best people in this business are the ones that are willing to reach out and show people how they do things, what they do. And I mean, ultimately, the guys that are doing it right are the ones that are showing their products off and not afraid to help another person up in their own, whether it's a hobby or their own business getting started. Because, that's what we do. We help each other. But yeah,
I'll be up in just a second, okay, buddy?
But a matter of, showing what I got going on. I love showing tutorials. I love, kind of giving people an insight to the progress or the process of how things are done. And plus you get to see, I mean, it's me in my basement. That's my workshop. So it's not like we're
It's a very nice basement. It's a very nice basement. I've been there.
What's that?
I said it's a very nice basement.
Thank you
a
very
nice
much.
workshop you have there. Yeah, I think your floor broke the internet the day you showed that floor get poured.
You know what? It's funny because I told my guys that helped me. I said, well, we moved everything down there, and I'm like, all right, well, you know what? Every 2 or 3 years, we're going to change the color up. So we're going to move everything out of the shop upstairs into the garage, and we're just going to have it redone. but that, I mean, presentation's everything. I mean, there's people that curate their photos and their videos to be, the most eloquent thing on the internet, and that's great. Not my style. I like taking photographs and videos and stuff. But it's a matter of finding out what works for you. You find your own style, run with it. You don't have to try to emulate anybody. Figure out what works best for you, and the changes that you make or the content that you put out there. Look over it every month or two. See what worked the best, and kind of drive that home. If you take better videos than you do photos, work on that a little more. You'll expand your reach. I mean, anyone.
It's a whole other level of the business, right? It's a whole, and you and I have talked about this. Actually, myself and a lot of the people in this room have talked about that it's a whole different thing that we all learned, right? No one taught us it. We just kind of stumbled upon it and made it work for us. And it's evolving, it's evolving every day, kind of like the fire service is evolving every day, right?
Yep.
I see we got AJ back. So AJ, you want to jump back in there now that you're back?
Yeah, I don't know where we're at, but kind of going off of what Rob was just talking about, I'm in a unique position where my page, as everybody probably knows, I'm sharing Firehouse meals, not just my own, but I'm sharing, Firehouse meals from across the country, across the world, whatever. So every day I'm getting, some of the best photographed food I've ever seen. And then I'm getting some of the worst, like half-eaten cheeseburgers, it's, it's kind of like a crapshoot.
They're messing with you. The fire service is doing what the fire service does best, and they're effing with you, and you have to love it.
Absolutely.
You know what, AJ, if you don't mind, I think that's probably should be your next series. Is I don't know if I'll give you your worst photographs, but like I would love to see some of those, like second
epic fails.
The ones that didn't make the cut.
But at the same time, how do you someone trying to take a picture of them being serious? You don't want to bust their chops over having a less than greater presentation.
I can
long ago I did do a little bit of like how to take better food photo tutorial kind of thing. Not even my own stuff, because I'm not even the best food photographer by any means, but just a little like tips, like natural light, that kind of thing. But then at the end of the day, firefighters are going to do whatever the hell they want anyway. So I
struggle.
Go ahead, Rob.
I struggle with the same. I always advocate or I encourage in-service shots, and I do every now and then. I try to really, you'll see in a caption or so, I'll try to eloquently put across, like, if you want for a chance to be featured, if you're going to take a picture of one of my products, the product should be in focus, and not the patch on the truck, behind it. It's all about subject matter, and if I want to show off some of my products at your show, my stuff kind of have to be featured in it and not just the secondary, just in the frame. But yeah, I get what you're saying. And I get a lot of photos too that unfortunately some of them I can't use for that reason. Other of them, a lot of people are very proud of the stuff that they get from me, which makes me feel amazing. At the same time, they couldn't turn a light on in the bay before they took the picture. So
the light may not work in the bay, dude. Not all of us have light bulbs that work in our houses. We're not where you work, where you get whatever you want. Light bulbs are very, very big deal. AJ, what if you did one though? I just thought of one. You could always do like, food on the stove, because I know in my career we've come back a few times and had our own smoke condition rolling in the kitchen. Like, and you know, just put it out there. Listen, everybody makes a mistake. Everybody leaves some food on the stove. You may need a fan or two
I've definitely
to clear it out.
I've definitely talked about it before in, you know, other podcasts and whatnot, but one of the first meals I ever cooked in the firehouse, I almost burned the entire porch down. You know, we have like a, you know, small wooden porch area where our grill is. I was making, you know, the beer can chicken thing, and I had never done it. I thought it was as simple as, you know, shoving a beer can up a, you know, a chicken's ass. And I didn't turn all the burners off that I was supposed to, flared up. And one of the guys I was working with said, you know, is there supposed to be that much smoke outside? And sure enough, I went outside, the whole grill's lit up, you know. So listen, nobody's perfect.
That's it, right? All right, I got some questions over from the YouTube audience. And the first one, well, I'm going to go with one first. Everybody wants to know who's Alex and why he's so famous on YouTube. Where is he? Jonathan Brennan wants to know, Alex, who are you and why are you so famous?
Yeah, Alex, who are you and why are you so famous?
Why are you so famous?
I think Alex had to go, and Alex is here.
Yeah, John Brennan knows who I am, so I will not give him the. I will not allow.
I mean,
he knows.
John Brennan should use an alias. He should pick up his game a little bit if he's going to get you.
John Brennan should use an alias.
Right?
It is an amateur move on his part.
Way to go, John. Get your shit together.
That's bad when you get called out on social media for not using an alias trying to mess with someone, right? Up your game if you're going to do this. But on a little bit more of, I guess, a serious note now, but, you know, Dakota Huckabee's asking us and this group kind of, you know, COVID's starting to flare back up again. You know, things are happening, and it's coming down to what's keeping you motivated. Because in the firehouse, we're getting back to that, you know, staying away from each other. You know, I feel like in my firehouse, we sort of always stayed away from each other once this started in New Jersey. We got back together, but now we're kind of spreading apart. And I know, John, you had a COVID experience back in the beginning of all this. But, you know, we have to stay motivated, right? We have to keep going. We have to make things happen. We can't stop everything that's happening. And it's something that I guess this group can easily talk about. So what do you got, John? Let's go first with you.
Yeah, thanks, Pip. Basically, I got sick back in the end of March into April, and one of the biggest things that kept me motivated, I was sick for 45 days. Thank God, never went to the hospital or anything else like that. But looking at the social medias, most of these people that are on here, I've been following, so that kept me motivated. And we've seen some of the training that came out of this. You know, everybody started pulling back, like you said. I'm in Northern Jersey, is similar to your Central Jersey guys. We separated too. No more than 6 guys in a room at a time. Single company training. So social media did a big part of stepping up into doing it. One of the things that helped me out right away is we did a quick conference. About 5 of us. Sean Egan was part of it as well. And we put together 6 speakers over 2 days just to talk. Sean, what class did you were supposed to teach that day?
We did. I did the Vacants, Vagrants, and Fire one with John Lightly.
So we want to just putting that together to put something out there for people, because you know we want some normalcy in the fire service. And back in March, April, May, there was nothing normal in the fire service at the time. And I think a lot of us here have adapted to doing some sort of online or social media presence for training and stuff like that. So, but that definitely helped me get through being sick. The illness itself was, I would say 30%, 45% physical, and the rest was emotional and mentally impactful. You know, you had to work through it to get better, and having the connections and the networking was huge as well. Got brothers and sisters reaching out, just checking on you and stuff like that. It's really big. If you do have guys in your department that are sick right now, I'd say definitely throw it out there, reach out to them, send a text or two, see what they need, see what their family needs. Cause I'll tell you right now, it feels very alienating at first, especially if you're quarantining and stuff like that and you can't get out there. But Pip,
I've been talking to guys all over the last couple of days. Every single firehouse I know has cases in it now. And it's just, there's departments that are telling their guys, if you have 0 symptoms, you're still working. You're coming to work. They can't afford to not have guys at work. And so they're, even if they have it tested positive, they still need to be at work, even if they have, if without symptoms. It's nuts.
I went from a station of 10 to a station of 3. We browned out trucks because we don't have people. Between quarantine and then positive cases, they started browning out trucks, which is the first time in my 18 years that's ever happened.
It's a wild time, man. It's a wild time. Sorry.
It definitely is. And that's okay, Jeremy. We had some questions while you were gone. We had good discussion without you. People want to know who Alex is, but he disappeared again.
He left again.
But
I don't blame him.
What we kind of said here, and that's what this is kind of important, what we're talking about with social media, because like John said, if you're stuck quarantined, whether you have COVID-19 or you were on quarantine because you were exposed, what are you doing to stay motivated? You're doing the same thing we talked about, just scrolling away. So seeing people put good content out there, we've never known who we reached on social media. We knew we reached people, and you get those DMs. And literally, I just got one today about a firefighter who, in the beginning of January, was at a fire and got gassed. And I think he's lost 75 pounds since then, kind of telling us that. So we never know who's out there. But now more than ever, putting out that quality content is key, right? And that's something I know everyone that's in this group does for sure. And it kind of stinks, especially for Jeremy and the National Fire Radio team, a lot of their content came from being able to go places, and they can't do that. So what are we doing? We're reinventing the game, right, Jeremy?
We're trying, man. We got some cool stuff coming. I mean, I was really hoping that we were going to be back in the field. I'm supposed to do a departmental visit on Sunday. It's still scheduled, so I hope it's still a go. Been making stops here and there, but nothing like we were. And not only that, but 2020 was supposed to be truly for us what I considered to be a breakout year, and we just got held back. But that's okay. It lets us, we got to pivot. I think the biggest thing too, and this is what's exciting about this group, and the question I asked before about, how much time goes into your social media page, why you feel the necessity to promote the positive, whether it's training or fitness or your products or something to better the industry, right? I think everybody in this group here and everybody that I invited in today to do this, and Pip as well, are people that share in the same mantra that we're just trying to better it, right? It's not about us, it's about doing something more for the fire service. And I hate talking in cliche statements like that, because I just think it's so overplayed when it's bigger than us, it's this, it's that. You know what? Whatever. It is, right? But it's been here before us, it's going to be here after us. And we do our little part. Now, whether you take from it or give to it, that's up to you. And that's your personal, that's your personal battle. For me in National Fire Radio it's twofold. One, I love to give more than I take, but man, do I take from this too, right? I take this opportunity of sharing this with all of you, meeting all of you, going to different departments, being able to do my podcast and interview incredible people in this job that love this job more than I do. And it's just, so that's the selfish part of it, which is good. But Pip, what you're talking about in this time of COVID and with our pages, whether it's mine or 555 or Top Floor or Truck Tactics or you name it, Flow and Vent, right? Like everybody is bringing something to the table. And the fact that they're putting out quality content is solely because they want to, solely because it's bigger than, their personal satisfaction. And all those pages that are in it for the wrong reasons per se, or being more selfish than I am, they're not going to make it. And, when National Fire Radio popped up 2.5 years ago, and we started, really hitting it hard, trying to grow some attention and so on, a lot of pages popped up after us. And I can tell you that most of those pages that popped up after us are no longer here, because it's a long game, and it's a long game doing the right thing. You have to consistently do the right thing. And so now more than ever, we have the ability on social media, when you're doing the right thing, you pivot. And so COVID threw a huge curveball at all of us. Whether you are, solely on Instagram or Facebook and putting your content out there and sharing that with anyone, if that's your platform, that's great. It gives you more flexibility than, say, that fire engineering or that firehouse or any other platform that is more traditional in their sense of how they pass their message along. And so now more than ever, all of our pages have the ability to respond quickly to, hey, COVID's flaring up again. You know what? Let's try something different. I said to Pip, I go, man, we're going to be stuck in our houses again. If they're going to start scaling back, I'm like, let's do a virtual happy hour. I'm just going to throw an invite out, see if anybody wants to come on. We'll bullshit for an hour or 2 hours. And I think, it's being able to pivot and find things to do like that is what sets us apart. And I think the community that's being built and the influencers, whether you want to call yourself that or not, most of the people in this room is an influencer in some way. You're making an impact on social media to others. And that impact is greater than you all think. And that impact is greater than you all know. And so, and that's what's exciting about it is because, if you're making that type of impact, you better make sure that your content and quality of what you're doing represents what needs to be out there bettering the fire service, plain and simple. So, but I'm excited. I listen, it's a bag of shit, man. COVID's a bag of shit and it's going to be here for a couple more months at least. So you could either cry about it or you pick yourself up, you put your big boy pants on and you go to work and you do something else to make this happen. So that's my take on it. I mean, life's funny. It's COVID today. It could be, cancer in my life tomorrow. It could be somebody gets sick in my world and it upends my world. Like there's always something in this world. And the problem is most people dwell on that. Most people say, oh, boo-hoo, poor me, man. I got this going on in my life. I have no time. I can't do this. Bullshit. Pick yourself up and let's go. Like there's always time and there's always a way to push forward. And I think, you want to bring it full circle, bring it back to that 1% talk, right? I'm not a 1%er. I want to better myself 20% every single day, 100% every day, and that's the level of excitement I set for myself and expectation. So that's me.
I'm short. I keep goals small, 1%.
The fire service, the American Fire Service has been here since the 1740s, organized, and we've survived world wars, pandemics, you name
prostitution, Bob.
A lot of prostitution. I was into it. I would have loved it back then, but it's one of them things where nobody hates firemen more than other firemen or firefighters. Right. Everybody's always trying to bring people down and whatever, and yada, yada, yada. And, everybody focuses on what they don't have. Why don't you focus on what you have and making it work for you? So, if we go into another lockdown, which I hope we don't, but if we do, that's fine. I know I've made plans for it. You've made plans for it. And, we're going to be here to make sure that, you survive it. And, I get the psyche on being locked down, especially if you have kids, because I'm looking at 4 right now in a mess of a basement and, I'm dreading it, but if it happens, it happens. Nothing you can do about it. So you got to make, you got to make do, but we're here for firefighting. That's what we do. Calls for service and firefighting. So, as soon as you lose your edge, that's on you. So you always got to keep your edge and find it. And don't let other people around you bring it down either, especially in the firehouse. And there's a lot of negativity, especially right now. It doesn't matter who's president. Doesn't matter what pandemic's what. It doesn't matter anything. You know what? We're the fire department. We're here. And we're here for beer and we're here for fires. So, amen is right. So stay positive. Find the positivity and the negativity. That's my take on it.
And that's one of the things I've always found great about the fire service is the ability to adapt and overcome to any situation. Just, with COVID, anything, we've learned how to train ourselves to move to the next level and the next step in whatever it is. And we're always the first ones that are called, it seems like, when something happens, to try to take care of it.
Just curious, is anybody looking at other industries, so to speak, and seeing what they're doing and kind of using maybe how they adapted to this whole thing? Are you guys looking at those not in the fire service to kind of say, all right, I like what they're doing in, say, the fitness world, and I'm going to adapt it to the firehouse fitness stuff, or is anybody doing that? Looking at other industries and seeing how they're pivoting, so to speak.
I always am. I mean, I don't listen. It's funny. I mean, I run a fire department social media page and podcast, and I don't really listen to a single podcast or anything having to do with fire, anything outside of,
bullshit.
I listen. Wait, what? Who said that? Come on. So I listen to a lot of business podcasts. I listen to a lot of other types of influential type content. And for me, like I get inspired by it, but I'm also so disillusioned by a lot of corporate America. And it's not a political stance or anything. It's very simply this. I said this to Pip last week when we were just doing coffee and BSing a little bit. You could take in the fire service, you show up for the firehouse and you have 4 guys on that engine and they could be from every color from, black, brown, white, blue, pink, purple. It doesn't matter what color they are. It doesn't matter what religion they are. It doesn't matter what God they believe in or if they believe in a God at all and what gender and ethnicity and everything else. It doesn't matter. We give them a job and they get the job done, right? We put all the bullshit aside. And now more than ever in mainstream America and corporate USA, that bullshit rules the roost. And that's a problem. And I think that the American people in the America corporate society needs to take a page from the American Fire Service and understand that what we do on a daily basis, right? The cards, we're the only job that we show up and you do not know what you have in front of you, right? We were talking about this the other night. I had a great dinner the other night with a couple guys and we were talking about even Navy SEALs. When Navy SEALs go to perform, they practice and plan their attack 100,000 times in 24 hours before they go and do their surveillance or their attack or their whatever they need to do. And they call for audibles and plan A, B, C, and D. Fire service doesn't have the benefit to do that. You roll up, you pull up on the curb and you go to work and you go from a 30-second point of view on the curb to inside a building of terrible conditions and deteriorating, and we are expected to go to work. So nobody cares who's next to you. Nobody cares what color, what race, what ethnicity, what religious belief you have. We don't care. And now more than ever in America, we shouldn't care. And people need to take that page from the American Fire Service because, frankly, we get a bag of shit thrown at us every time we go out the door. And I don't care who's sitting next to me. As long as they're confident in their skills and their abilities, we're going to do okay. We're going to get the job done and we're going to go home. And I think that's super important. And I think that's what's being missed. So AJ, just back to your point, I digest a lot of stuff outside of the fire service and I relate everything back to the fire service because that's what my passion is. And I can tell you that I'm disillusioned by a lot of what I see because I think the American Fire Service, as much as we like to bitch sometimes about maybe we're not happy about certain things or we're getting softer or it's not like it used to be, it's still better than being an accountant. It's still better than being a mechanic or a lawyer or a banker. I don't care, right? This is what I chose and I enjoy doing this. And so I choose to do it. And I think we do it right.
Who gets to say that they were going to work every day since this started, right? Not many careers can say that they've been able to go to work every day they're supposed to since this started.
On Rob's, I mean, I totally agree with you. It's like we have had that normalcy, even though it hasn't been normal. It's been some sort of normalcy where you get to go into work every day and still conversate with people and see part of your family, So even though your outside life is totally different, you do still get to go to work and have some sort of normalcy in your life, which I know for us in my department has been huge. And it's been a lifesaver, to be honest. It gets you out of the house, gets you free a little bit.
Guys, I'm jumping off. I got to go finish cooking dinner.
Wait,
thanks for having me, and hope everybody stays safe.
They make you cook?
Hey, take some pictures.
They make you cook? Why do they make you cook?
Yeah, post them, will you?
Would you want anyone else to cook?
He's probably ordering pizza. He's probably ordering pizza.
Friday night they order pizza.
Brittany, I want to jump in on what you said about the normalcy.
Do it.
Some of the traditions alive. Just last night, we wound up cooking dinner. I bought dinner. I had my first fire as the new tour commander. So I bought both houses dinner, and guys are like, why are you doing this, chief? I'm like, well, hey, I'm not chief yet. I'm in the spot, but hey, this is what we do. So as the senior most ranking person down to the junior most, when you do your first, that's what we do. You buy dinner, you buy lunch. Maybe it's not a filet mignon dinner the whole right off the bat. It's pizza, but it's one of those first things. And again, that's that normalcy of having, hey, this is what we rely on. We go back to work. We're able to talk with our people. It might be different, but it's still normal for us. And that means a lot. I think there's a lot of anxiety right now in the fire service. you know, this COVID thing has been lasting a long time. You hear that, I guess the new phrase is, just slipped my mind. It's about COVID and we're tired of it. You know, we're relaxing our not wearing our PPE properly and stuff like that. So that's going to catch us on this wave. And a lot of people are becoming more and more anxious. I'm just looking into getting some literature or maybe a video or something or PowerPoint for our guys to say, hey, listen, let's stay on top of this. It's stay aware and how we can deal and cope with the mental aspect of this pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree. The complacency has become huge. I know I am also a paramedic in a private ambulance company, and that is like, those guys are like, we don't care about anything. And in the fire service, my fire department, we have a little bit more of an outline and a guideline of what things are supposed to be and what PPE to wear. And there's really no choice about it. But when you're in the private ambulance side, like nobody cares. Nobody gives a hoot. They're like doing whatever they want. So I've definitely seen the complacency on that side. And it is kind of scary because then you get people that are popping up left and right because all these positives are coming onto our trucks, but we're not even knowing they're positives because maybe they have a headache or something silly. You're like, oh, it's nothing. I'm just going to wear a surgical mask. And then you end up getting screwed in the end. So it's definitely something that needs to be addressed. People need to be more cautious in wearing their PPE and making sure that they're safe for sure, especially since it is on the rise. And
yeah, it's, you know, and that's the thing. And like, ultimately, I mean, I, you know, kind of want to go, this is getting a little heavy. Not that I don't mind. Listen, it's good. But, you know, it's just like, you know, we all are dealing with it. And I think, you know, sometimes we do need to talk about it. I will tell you that Pip and I argue about COVID consistently every time I talk to him. I'm in the mindset
for like 8 months. For like 8 months, we argue.
Listen, I just went to Great Adventure a couple weeks ago. I'm out at restaurants every weekend. I'm
Thanks
that
for
guy.
stopping by, buddy.
That guy. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm that guy that believes, you know, that. Well, anyway, before we get into all that, however.
Why? People probably want to see us fight. We could fight. You want to fight? We could argue in public.
That would be like Andre the Giant fighting midgets, wouldn't it? Like, you remember that?
Dude, I will choke you out.
I know.
Don't even.
You
like,
probably,
remember?
guy,
like,
you probably do. I mean, you flex in the mirror all day long. What do you want me to do? I mean, you know, what do you want from me, man? I'm not going to deny that.
I only flex when I wear Ridgeway leather stuff, just so they look at my flexing, not the Ridgeway leather product.
That's the after hour stuff that Rob and I talked about. Rob, take yourself off mute for a minute. Have you talked yet tonight? Or are you just sitting there smoking a cigarette?
Yeah, I have. You missed my whole spiel.
Oh, I'm really
He had a
sorry.
good spiel. He had a really good spiel.
I'll keep going.
You know, Rob, I wanted to talk to you also because I think it's important to value. I think what's exciting about the fire service now with social media, I mean, we're all here because of social media, right? None of us knew each other before. Well, some of us did, but for the most part, everybody that decided to hop in here tonight is solely because they're putting a message out on social media. And it's whether you're a training page or a culture and a tradition page or you're a vendor. You know, Chris Martin talked about it before, but I mean, you're doing incredible things and it's really social media driven. I mean, you're a career fireman, but you also have your leather business that does very well based on, you know, getting the word out there through social. How have you seen this? Like, how does it do for you? I mean, is it an interesting time for you right now? Or like, because I think it's awesome that there's so many vendors that are willing to become part of the community. I hit on that before with Chris. You know, that it's important to become part of the community and just not an outsider. And I think that social media has that ability to allow for that. Can you speak to that for a little bit or?
I mean, as far as, and what I've seen and what I like is the only positive thing that did come out of COVID was the influx of people using social media to get the word out, because obviously trade shows were shut down, training conferences were shut down. From a business perspective, we didn't really skip a beat, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around, you know, how people still have money to spend to some degree. But I think maybe it has given people more time to be on social media, which in turn gives us the opportunity to put out what we make and what we sell. Just like it is for any instructors to put out their message. is people are just spending more. And we've had this conversation plenty of times as far as how social media is steering the fire service. There's just more opportunities to get your products out, get your message out, and really kind of tailor how, at least in my case, how my business progresses. I mean, we've been as busy today as we were pre-COVID. And I think a lot of that is in part because of our outreach through social media. When I started my business, it was all word of mouth. Obviously, I could read the writing on the wall, and I know that if you wanted to take it further than just your local circles, which is great in fire service, by the way, we could talk about New Jersey and how great of an opportunity is, and word of mouth spreads through Jersey. But you're not going to reach that person in California outside of a few circumstances without being on social media. I'd never consider shipping to different countries like we do without social media or these relationships that have formed because of it. Social media in general for me has brought our business to a whole new plane, and it's really a crazy ride. I'd never expect just being able to push out content and the things that I make and I showcase on my page would really garner that much interest. And it really is humbling to see people excited to want to get your products or want to show off their products. And both finding a good circle of friends, whether it be business or personal, and wanting those people to see you succeed, like everyone in this chat or this conference. That's really what's most important, and it's awesome. all through adapting through technology that have put us all in the same spot right here today. So,
you know what that is too, and a lot of that, and I know Jeremy speaks to this pretty well, but and everyone on this page has kind of done it, is we put ourselves out there, right? We put our lives out there. Like I said, the initial 555 Fitness social media page was my personal page. Finally, Mrs. Pip was like, you need to stop this, dude. You're putting our life out on something that's a not-for-profit and a business, like it's your own, and you need to come up with your own Instagram page, just the way that it changed. And by choosing to partner up with Larry and help with 555, I've met everyone on this chat tonight. I'm looking at the whole screen here. I would not know if it wasn't for that decision to help 555. And, Zog and Levi are out together in Cali right now, and Levi is not from Cali, he's from Colorado. But those are people that through the 555 network I met on social media. So it's one of those things and they met on social media. And I make the joke when I teach, like I meet a lot of dudes online, and sometimes there's a few ladies that I've met online as well, like Bobby and Brittany and CJ and Heather. But when you guys are out there, and doing this, when you were following 555 so long ago, Levi and Zog, what made you decide to take the leap to contact us or to do this, because that's something I think a lot of people need to hear.
Going first. I just got into town. I'm trying not to do anything, but I guess I'll talk. I began as a fan of 555 Fitness and liked everything that you guys did. So I tried to incorporate everything that 555 did to my crew, and eventually came into being introduced to you, Pip, and we became really good friends since then. And I guess the rest is history. We travel together. We try to influence other people. And one thing that comes into mind is when you came to Denver to visit me for the Zoll thing that we had out there. We were chilling out at a bar, and some guy came over and said, "Hey, you guys are 555, right?" And we said, "Yeah, man." And he's like, "Well, I follow you guys, and I lost 50 pounds or some odd number. I don't know if you remember that, but that just keeps you going. It keeps you, even more motivated. To get our mission out there." So I'm sure Zog will attest to that.
Oh, I'm sure Zog will attest to that.
Well, I would assume that all of us that are on this chat right now, we live by the lifestyle or by the motto of trying to make it better than we found it, right? That's what we all do in the fire service and our everyday jobs that we are, whether we're riding a truck, a pump, or battalion chief or whatever. Doesn't matter what your position is, we're all trying to make it better. That's what 555 is doing. That's why I got involved. And we do that in spite of the circumstances. We're taking a shit sandwich by, dealing with the circumstances that we deal with, sometimes dealing with the citizens, sometimes dealing with our senior staff. But we just control the controllables, do the best that we can every single call, every single day, to continue to make it better than we found it. Whether you're making leather products or you're trying to make people more fit, or you're making good food or whatever you're doing, however you're contributing, we're all trying to make it better than we found it. That's our main motivation. Or this guy's a model. So, I mean, it doesn't matter what your skill set is. Obviously, that's not my skill set at all.
Just a couple of calendars. I think Bobby Eckert was in a calendar actually once or twice. I'm not sure. I think I've seen it.
I was in Will Belinsky's calendar, and I was February. I just confirmed my shirt was on. He didn't want to pay the extra $1 to have the shirt off, but you let me know, I'll take it off.
There could be a Ridgeway Leatherworks calendar in the works.
I would. That was. I mean, dude.
I'm waiting for the After Dark collection. That's what I can't wait for.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wait.
So, Zog,
he didn't send you the email, bro?
No, not yet. But he probably doesn't make plus sizes, so we're gonna move on. Hey, Zog, you made a really good statement. You said making a difference each day. I think that is the theme here. And it could be a simple post or a well thought out training page post. But I think the importance is when you're trying to make a difference each day, you do make it about the job and not about yourself. And I think that's why this is so successful with everybody that's in here and all the individual pages. And the one thing I can tell you is I am incredibly humbled by being able to call everybody a friend, and all these pages, there's no competition, right? The only competition becomes from the mutts. And, the pages that are doing it right and the people that are into it for the right reasons, they're lifting each other up. I mean, I've done projects, I might not be the biggest fitness guy, but, I'm happy to work with you guys on what you do. However, on the training side, I mean, I'm just looking at who popped in tonight on the training side. And I've done on-tap roundtables. I've done virtual roundtables. I've done one-on-one interviews with these guys. And these are some of the best in the industry. And they still had time tonight to hop in for a couple minutes and BS and just because they're into it and they love it. And I think that's important. And I think it's because they're all trying to make a difference and their pages matter. And I think that's the best part about it. And so making a difference each day, I think we're tasked with that now more than ever. More people are stuck at home. More people are digesting on that, on that throne, if you will. And so it's our content. And we have a responsibility to put out good and quality content that's vetted and it's good information. And it does the job right. And so I just wanted to say that making a difference each day, we might not believe that, or we might not see it and think that what we're doing is just something that we enjoy doing and putting it out there, but it does make a difference. And I can tell you, I can guarantee you every single person here has gotten a DM from somebody that said that the page they're involved with or the content they're putting out is making a difference, or it's educated them, made them a better firefighter, made them lose 50 pounds, and the list goes on. And I think that's the best part about all this. That's the one thing that in traditional sense, they can't compete with. And that, we have the ability to do that quickly. We have the ability to partner ourselves and just looking around this group, man, like this is a friendship. It's not competition. You could have 5 different training companies in this group right now, but if they're all legitimate training companies, they're all about the betterment of the job and promoting the job and promoting firefighters. And that's ultimately the message. And so I just wanted to state that because Zog, you made that statement, making a difference each day. I believe in that wholeheartedly. We got about 12 minutes. I want to wrap this at 5:30. Pip, you just sending me digesting on the throne needs to be a sticker. I agree, pal.
You literally just said digesting on the throne.
What's that? The thinking man? The thinking man.
Yeah, the thinking man with his little fire helmet on. Like everybody wants, and there you go. You're digesting on the throne. You could even have the thinking man with his phone if you want to in the front scrolling, because everybody does some thinking there.
Good. All right, listen, we got 11 minutes left. So where you want to go with this, or are we wrapping early?
No,
Hey, let me
let's-
throw it out.
we said 11, but yeah, Jeff, I was just going to toss it to you because most people are probably like, who is this Jeff Bandman person and why is he here? And Jeff, and why does he have a full beard? Because obviously he's either on serious quarantine, like our friend Daniel Pierce that just took 3 months off of his job, and he's working the tiller right now. That's why he's not joining us this Friday. He's sending me pictures actually driving the tiller on his first day back after 3 months. He's driving the tiller. I'm like, dude, well, hey, you turned the wrong way, so you should be okay with that. But Jeff and I go back about 2 years or so, 2.5 years, and he's really big on mindset and positivity and how we can change. And I'm gonna let him probably talk more about whatever he wants to talk about, but just to plug him a little bit, he is doing the keynote speech this year at the Firehouse Expo online. I don't know, Sean, what's it called? You're teaching a class there too, whatever. Somebody knows.
Firehouse Expo Direct.
Direct.
There you go.
That's it.
You're gonna shave that mustache before you do it?
Maybe.
Am I gonna shave?
It's December
am I gonna
9th,
shave
so
my mustache?
technically.
They're gonna be hanging up posters of you, man. Beware of this creep.
So go ahead, Jeff. What do you got in all this digestion?
No, man, I'm just going to say this. Listen, I think sometimes when you exist in a career for a long time and you're centered, in the fire service for an extended period of time, that is your world. That's what you know. Having the opportunity to have the fire service as my foundation, almost 30 years now since I stepped in my first working house fire. So, I walked in the firehouse at 16 and really that launched me into everything I've done in my life. And so I think, I kind of just want to give a little credit. Jeremy said something earlier about the value of the fire service and where it plays out, and then that up against corporate America or other things out there, the different things that are going on, the way things that happen. I want you to get that, my career from the fire service into the Army Special Operations community and then on into the CIA, even though I did other things, I was still always a fireman. I was still always a firefighter. The value I got from the fire service for the first, 5, 6, 7 years of my life in a career world, really set the stage for me to be successful in the military and, running around the world doing crazy stuff. The things that you gain there. And I watch all of you guys. I follow all of you. I pay attention to what you're doing and what you're putting out, how the fire service has transitioned, over the years, but, and love it. There's just, I just want to acknowledge that back. There is so much value in what you all do every day and how you contribute to each other. I always say it is true. Fire service, military, law enforcement, we eat our own. We are so quick to eat our own. But at the end of the day, when you step outside of that community, the value that comes from, in my personal opinion, the value that comes from the fire service, and I watch guys, out of the teams and out of every area where they've grown up, I think the fire service holds kind of the top bar there as far as camaraderie, work ethic, flexibility, adaptability, capability, mindset, resiliency. There's just something about it that's just unbelievably amazing. So it's cool now at this stage of my life to be able to contribute back in different ways from all the other stuff. So.
Well, thanks, Jeff. That's awesome, man. Truly, thank you. And
it's one of those things where it brings you back in. You know what I mean? When someone like Jeff, who kind of started in the fire service and left and went to the military, but it's that basis of what we do. And I know I've heard pretty much everybody that's on this chat, again, in this group, talk about that day one experience, where you want to be that day one person because you want to remember yourself on day one. And sorry, another little one. I love all these little ones that keep appearing. Mine didn't want to appear, but you want to be that day one person. Obviously you're gonna be better and smarter and have more knowledges and more experiences now, but you have to remember how you were the day you walked in the door. That excitement needs to just transition throughout your entire career, whether even like John said, he had his first fire on the car. Was that the 3-alarm one that I saw recently? That was yours?
Yeah, yes, sir. I'm opposite your shift now. So yeah, that was my first. That was my first fire.
Not a normal New Jersey Civil Service test fire, from what I can tell looking at it online. But it's those things that even at that stage, you want to have that memory of day one. And we're always going to have it. You just can't lose it, right? I mean, you have to keep that passion moving forward. Anyone? Anyone want to jump in on that?
Yes.
Yes, I concur.
Yes.
I concur. I did not concur.
Oh, yes.
Right? Like that. It's just one of those things. And I think to me, social media, it definitely, when we started, or when I started with it, it had a bad rap. And it still may have that bad rap in the fire service, but people that are in this group, we're changing that. We're showing people the positivity of it and coming together and growing. And even Jeremy and I, when we first met a few years ago in Nashville, I mean, I met him by messing with him, by doing my own Jeremy impersonation of National Fire Radio, this amazing thing called a cup. And you put liquid in the cup.
You had to stand on a milk crate. It was fun.
You put liquid in a cup and you drink the liquid. It's how you drink the liquid. Jeremy, National Fire Radio.
Yeah, listen, that the whole shtick of it worked, right? So here we are. But I will say this, right, Pip, to your point, shit, I just lost my train of thought. After all, I'm thinking about you on a milk crate, and I just lost my train of thought. But I kind of want to,
it's the first time you thought of that. Come on.
I know, but I kind of want to wrap it. I mean, we've been going for almost an hour and a half, and I truly cherish everybody with the willingness to hop in tonight, and and so on. And I just, I think it speaks volumes to what we're doing here. And I just, it's fun. I'm texting, the text messages are flying and the chat's flying and so on. And it's fun. And I think that the best part about it is just the camaraderie of this. I truly wanted to do this tonight. Pip and I have been talking about doing some, projects together just because we have a good rap back and forth about topics and so on. And I threw it out there tonight to just open this up to anybody that, we know and we're friends with and so on. I threw it out to a bunch of Instagram pages and people and so on. And so I wanted to see who, selfishly, it's a little test to see who was going to come on, because we're talking about doing some type of programs where we're going to involve some of you if you're interested in doing that. And you'll hear more about that as we go along. But it's fun. And, I think the fact that, people signed in tonight and took some time out of their busy schedules just to talk about the job and talk about life is important to me. And I know Pip values it as well. And I just thank all of you for hopping in tonight. It was pretty great. And so on. But I think going forward, I mean, ultimately, it's about making a difference and doing the right thing. I think all of you bring tremendous value to the fire service. I think what's happening here is just the beginning of something very, very much bigger that's going to happen as the years pass on. And I think we're ahead of the curve. And I cherish all of you, and I want you all to understand how important you are to the fire service, which is a crazy thing because the American Fire Service is so huge, and yet we're making an impact on our small little platforms, and we make an impact every single day with impressionable firefighters, and even some of the saltiest guys out there. Don't let them fool you, Pip. And now I know where my point was going is you talk about how, in the fire service, we kind of demonize social media, and yet there's nothing tonight that needs to be demonized. There's nothing here that nobody, whether you're 6 months in or 35 years in, would disagree with. And ultimately, take it to the firehouse, everybody's on their phone, and whether it's the 65-year-old senior guy who's been there forever or the 20-year-old kid, they're on their phones and they're digesting something. Let's give them something to digest. And I think that should be the message.
I like that message.
Ultimately.
I think everybody, I see a lot of heads nodding now.
And
right?
that's about as deep as I get tonight. I hope somebody wrote that down. And
it's recorded. It's recorded. We have it saved forever.
Do we, Pip? Do we?
We do. Oh, it's up to you.
But listen, I just, my wife walked in a little bit ago, so I'm going to go have a drink with her and hang out and so on. But I just want to thank you guys for hopping in tonight. It means the world. And, it's good to know that there's a lot of ugly faces like mine out there that are making a difference. And so keep social media real, keep putting out a good message. And I thank all of you for tuning in tonight. And I can't wait to do more of this with all of you. So anybody else got anything, or are we out?
How come nobody really brought in coffee talk and said that the peanut is neither a pea nor a nut?
Discuss amongst
You're
yourselves.
showing your age. You're showing your age, Robert Reed and Coffee Talk. Discuss amongst yourselves.
Coffee.
Hey, don't everybody hang up too when we end the live and just hang out.
Yeah,
for a
I'm
couple
gonna